Donald Trump just got called out by one of his closest allies. But first, to set the stage, here he was a few days ago.
The economy was listed as a top concern. I know you know this, for voters in New Jersey, New York, Virginia. And I've been all over the affordability issue today and for the last several months. Eggs, gas, dinner costs for Thanksgiving way down. But other things, as you noted, have gone up. Beef, coffee,
but they're gonna come
auto
down very
repairs.
shortly.
Is this a voter perception issue of the economy, or is there more that needs to be done by Republicans on Capitol Hill, or done in terms of policy?
More than anything else, it's a con job by the Democrats. They're saying, they just have to say, they put out something, say today costs are up. They feed it to the anchors of ABC, CBS, and NBC, and a lot of other, and CNN, and et cetera. And it's like a standard. I'll never forget, they had used a word like manufactured. Do you remember the word manufactured? It's a manufactured economy. Nobody uses that word. Every anchor broke the manufactured. They do exactly what they say. It's such a rigged system. So are you ready? Costs are way down. Gasoline is going to be hitting $2 pretty soon, or around $2. Gasoline is at $2.70 now, and it was at $4.50 under Biden, under Sleepy Joe. When gasoline comes down, when energy comes down, and everybody agrees energy's down, we're drill baby drill. We're going like wild. We produce more gasoline, oil and gas in the last month than we ever have before, by far. And we're going to also end up filling up the national strategic reserves, which were taken out by Biden in order to try and win an election. Didn't work out too well. They tapped in. That's supposed to be for war, for national emergency, not to get.
So are you saying that voters are misperceiving how they feel, or?
So when I took over, you remember?
Because you said Biden did that too, because he was saying things were great, but things weren't great.
It's synonymous, Biden and Kamala, because you didn't know who the hell was campaigning. I mean, it got to a point. So I was up by 20 points on Biden or some crazy number. And they said, all right, let's get him out. We'll put a new one. This never happened to anybody. All of a sudden, I have somebody new. And they had the 6-week honeymoon, which was standard in the world of politics. You get a little honeymoon. And she had her little honeymoon, but then eventually people got to know her, too. And then they had the 60 Minutes catastrophe where they, changed her answer.
So that was Trump's rambling diatribe where, in effect, he explains that anyone concerned with the economy is just hallucinating and that everything is the cheapest it's ever been, everything is the best value it's ever been, everything is the best it's ever been. With the irony, of course, being exactly what Laura Ingraham said to him, that Trump is falling victim to the exact same trap that Biden and Democrats, and myself included, fell into during the 2024 campaign, which is an over-reliance on pointing to arbitrary macroeconomic metrics and ignoring the fact that regular people's lives are becoming more and more expensive and unaffordable. But this move seems to have been the last straw for at least one of Trump's top allies.
Gaslighting the people and trying to tell them that prices have come down is not helping. It's actually infuriating people, because people know what they're paying at the grocery store. They know what they're paying for their kids' clothes and school supplies. They know what they're paying for their electricity bills. And so that approach does not work. We need compassion and show that we care about the American people and show that we are in the trenches with them on what they're going through. That's first and foremost. You don't gaslight them, you don't lecture them, and you don't deny what's happening.
And frankly, Greene is correct that what Trump is doing here is gaslighting. Remember, Trump campaigned on lowering the cost of housing, of rent, of groceries, of eggs, and what did he do once he had power? He engaged in a trade war that raised the cost of everything. He cut Medicaid from 17 million Americans, food assistance to the tune of $350 million, ended subsidies for the ACA that'll result in healthcare premiums for 24 million Americans becoming 2, 3, 4, 5 times more expensive than it was last year. So if you can explain to me how that's Trump making things more affordable, I'm all ears. But let's take on some of the claims that he and Republicans have been making, like this talking point that Thanksgiving will be 25% cheaper, which is one hell of a sleight of hand, because in reality, that refers to this. The 2025 Walmart Thanksgiving meal contains 15 items, while the 2024 meal contained 21 items. Additionally, most of the brand name items in the 2024 meal were replaced with great value items. By that logic, I hear the cost of sneakers are down 50% if you're willing to only buy one. So yeah, not only is Trump making everything more expensive, he's also treating everyone like they're stupid. Or how about when he says that energy prices are way down? I gotta ask, are the lower energy prices in the room with us right now? Because energy prices have thus far surged 11% in Trump's second term, despite promises that he would, quote, cut the price of energy and electricity in half by the start of 2026. According to The Guardian, among the reasons for the increase are Trump's moves to boost fossil fuels. That includes coal, the costliest and dirtiest energy source. The president has also waged a war on inexpensive wind and solar power, despite soaring electricity demand driven by artificial intelligence data centers. More than 12 million U.S. homes could have been powered by the clean energy projects that have been canceled or delayed since Trump's re-election. The White House has also made the crisis worse by proposing to eliminate the $4 billion which Congress approved for heating and cooling aid via the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. He's also seeking to cut or eliminate funding for the Energy Star program, which promotes energy efficiency and has saved Americans $500 billion in energy costs. Again, saying energy prices are falling when they are surging, that is the definition of gaslighting. Or how about when he says that our groceries are way down? That old-fashioned yet beautiful word that Donald Trump just discovered from deep in the archives of history. Another lie. Here's Daniel Dale from CNN debunking that one.
Grocery prices are way down. Groceries are down. Now, as you know, groceries are down. We've gotten prices way down for groceries.
These claims are just not true. It wasn't true when President Trump claimed earlier this year that grocery prices were down. It's not true now. And we know that because of the new Consumer Price Index report released this morning, which showed that from August to September, grocery prices increased again by 0.3%. That followed a 0.6% increase from July to August, which was the biggest jump in 3 years. They're also up 2.7% from last September, and about half of that increase, about 1.4% in total, has happened since January, the month President Trump returned to office. If you talk to food economists, as I did, they'll tell you that there are all sorts of reasons why grocery prices might bounce around unrelated to who the president is. But they'll also tell you that it very much appears that two of this president's signature policies, specifically a crackdown on undocumented immigrants who make up a large percentage of the farm workforce, and significant tariffs on imported goods have at least contributed to the increases that Americans are seeing in the grocery aisle. And for example, if you look at some of the grocery products with the biggest price increases over the past year, they include coffee and bananas, two products that are almost entirely imported in this country. They also include beef. There are a lot of factors behind the beef increase, but a significant percentage of that product as well is imported. So tariffs are clearly having an effect. It's not just grocery inflation on which the president is making these kinds of false claims.
So look, if he wants to pretend that affordability is solved, he can be my guest. But the American people can very clearly see that things are getting more expensive. I mean, they literally just voted in Democrats in a blue wave last week on that exact issue, a failure of this president to keep his promise when it came to affordability. And yet, instead of actually seeking to fix it, Trump does what he always does, which is to try and fool everyone into thinking that he already fixed it, and it was amazing, and no one can fix it like he can, and many people are saying that he deserves a prize. The truth is that affordability is simply not a focus for Trump. It was on the campaign trail when he needed something from the voters, namely their support, but now that he's got power, he doesn't care about them. Simple as that. Now Trump's focus is on himself. It's on building a $350 million ballroom, renovating the Lincoln bathroom in marble, paving over the Rose Garden, encrusting the Oval Office in gold, retrofitting a Qatari jet to a tune of $1 billion paid for by us, buying Kristi Noem a couple of Gulfstream jets for $172 million, hosting crypto dinners where he can casually double his net worth. Don't you start to get it? You're starting to understand why he needs everyone to be distracted by culture wars about the evil communist Marxist Democrats? Because if his base wasn't distracted, they would be able to see that Donald Trump doesn't actually give a shit about them and is solely focused on himself. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.